guys, Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with the finalized version. This had a little bit of some cuts to do. It was harder than I thought it'd be. Not quite as complete as I thought it was going to be, but this is a very powerful deck. That's why I'm going to just go the aggressive route of just going, we're going to go 10 plains and 7 mountains, or no, we're 9 plains and 7 mountains. With 16 lands because we curve out at 4. I decided not to go the vehicle route, even though we do have the legendary creature that deals with vehicles. And then at least sideboard options are going to kill every artifact known to man with the Ruinous Gremlin, Fragmatizes. I also thought the Consulate Surveillance is a good card to keep on hand. If I go up against like a big black or green deck, this is a way just to shut down those sources dealing damage to me until we can kind of trade blows, and this is the card that can help me get there. The Forger's Puzzle-Knot is the one that I decided to cut. It was my last cut. Deals 1 damage to a creature or player, then 1 damage to a creature or player again. I just felt like my removal package was good enough, and I didn't want to cut a creature. So usually that's what you want to do in Limited. You want to play as heavy a creature count as possible, and then removal is something, if you have a little too much of it, it's easy to take down a notch or two. So I think every other card in there fills a better role than the Fireforger's Puzzle-Knot. But against 1 toughness decks, I'll bring it in for sure. Did not run the Adventurer's Goggles either, and I did not splash for black for the Combusted, whatever the 3 life kill a creature spell was. So removal package, we have plenty. We have 2 arrests, the revoke privileges, basically arrests, which will make it so people cannot crew, and they cannot attack or block. So really, really good card in this format. Double Impeccable Timing, which deals 3 damage to target attacker, blocking creature. Oh, absolutely bonkers good. This card's insanely good. And then the Pyrohelix, which is going to either kill a 2 toughness creature or 2 1 toughness creatures. And the Harness Lightning, which is going to kill anything and add some energy, which we do have this kind of sub-energy theme strategy, like the why I'm going to run the Fabrication module. I think the Fabrication module is just too powerful not to put in here. At worst, it's like the card, what is it called, Dragon's Blood, that allows you to put +1/+1 counters on stuff. At best, it's going to put a ton of +1/+1 counters on. Like Harness Lightning ends up being a giant growth with permanent counters. So makes these kind of cards like the 2-mana Hawks actually good later on, like after the Fabrication module. It also makes things like the Grubs become a ton more powerful as well. So we got the Exhibition. Too bad I didn't get any more Servo Expeditions because they do really well in this deck. The 3-drop slot is pretty much clogged with, we have the Filigree Familiar. It's just too powerful not to run. 2/2, draw a card, 2 life. Yeah, there's no way that I'm not going to run a card like that, even if we do claim we're an aggro deck. We'll have the discard card because it's a 3/2. Help kind of curve out, or not curve out, make all of our artifacts actually get us a little more advantage by drawing a discard. And we actually only have a few artifact cards, but we do have with Fabricate, and it does work with Fabricate. So speaking of Fabricate, with the 2/2 Fabricates, either 3/3 for 3 mana or 2/2 with a 1/1. All of these cards in the history I've ever played with them. This is like the gear. A lot of them from the Thopter from Origins. You have the guy that put out Warriors from or Spirits. We had both of those in like Concept here and Fate Reforged. Those were extremely powerful cards. And so I'm glad that I did get one of these. It also happens to be a dwarf, so we do have kind of this dwarf sub-theme with the Dapala Pilot Exemplar. No vehicles except 1 vehicle. I just didn't think any of the vehicles we got were very powerful. The 8/6 is good in like a longer control shell, but in an aggro shell I just don't like it. We have 2 of the Fairground Wardens, which are also dwarfs. Fiend Hunter, can't go wrong with Fiend Hunter, Banisher Priest type card. The Herald of the Fair, which enters battlefield. It's a 3/2 that gives something +1/+1. So on curve, it's really, really good off of even one of these. And it's a 3/2 for 3. That is what you would look for in Limited. We have the Infiltrator. Whenever it becomes tapped, it does 1 damage. This is very aggressive. Another 3/2 and attacks. It's actually 4/2, basically. It does damage right off the bat. These are usually good cards. The Master Tinker, which is probably the best card in the set, or in the pool. Well, second best, and of course our Mythic. It gets plus all servos and Thopters get +1/+1. We have plenty of servos in this deck through the Fabricate, and then it can actually create the servos later on. So it's also a 3/2 for 3. Can't go bad with that. It's also a dwarf, so we can tutor it up with the Dapala Pilot Exemplar. The only vehicle I'm going to run is the 5/5 for 3. Pretty self-explanatory. Crew 3 makes all of our 3-power guys turn into 5/5s, and it can tap for mana before it's a vehicle. Not bad. I decided not to go with the 4-mana spell that turned all vehicles into creatures and gave everything +2/+0, just because it's a little bit high on our curve, and I want to just use the removal for evasion rather than just like swing in on one massive turn. We have the Spontaneous Artist because at worst it's a 3/3 haste for 4 mana, not bad, and at best it can give things haste from there on out by creating energy tokens through the other different routes. So again, we can stockpile energy tokens with the Hawk, and then everything has haste later on after this is. Speaking of 3/3 hasters, it can be a 3/3 haster, or it can be a 2/2 and a 1/1. So depending on the situation, I do think that this card is worthwhile playing. And then we have the bonkers good Angel of Inventions, which is flying Vicious Lifelink. Other creatures get +1/+1, Fabricate 2. Depends on what route, what we need to do. If I'm worried about 2 toughness, 1 toughness cards, we'll make him into a 4/3 or her into a 4/3 because angels can only be females and demons can only be men. And that's a joke for another day. And anyway, so she can be, is that actually a she? It's a she. It's a she. Anyway, so that's just the gist of the deck here. I think that it all streamlines very well. The aggressive curve, we don't have anything to do on turn 1, but on turn number 2 through 4, we should have a lot of action. And the 16 mana just makes sense in this deck. So we'll let you know through the rounds how well this deck goes. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.